On today's episode of Between the Cracks, we speak with Jenny Maraghy. Jenny talks to us about real estate investments, the current state of the real estate market, and about some of her favorite charities. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Between the Cracks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first official episode of the Between the Cracks podcast. Today is our launch day, and we're very excited for you all to hear what we're going to be doing weekly from here on out. So I am Madden.
I'm Matt.
And we're going to be your usual hosts for the Between the Cracks podcast.
Absolutely. And hopefully we have some good fun, talk about some things in Richmond, let everybody know about things that are going on, and talk to some really good people.
Yeah. We have some good guests lined up for you guys. Today we have the wonderful lady Jenny Maraghy of the Jenny Maraghy team as a part of Compass.
Yeah, and why'd you call her Lady Maraghy?
Well, she has been friends with Scooter, the owner of Burgess Inspections, for years, and she has always used us. And so last year, I believe, in 2022, Burgess Inspections went and bestowed a piece of land on her in Scotland.
We bought her some land in Scotland.
An official lady of Scotland.
That's right. That was pretty cool. And Scooter may or may not have been wearing a kilt that day. So if anybody's really interested in that, you can email us at info@burgessinspects.com, and we'd be happy to share that photo with you.
Yeah, I believe there's also a video.
That's right. There might be a video out there.
And there were bagpipes. Was the music in the background when he walked in?
Yeah.
I wish there were real bagpipes.
That would be cool.
It was just the video. They just had it on a speaker. But it was a surprise to Jenny. And we have fun with her when we can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to hearing a little bit about what she has to say a little bit later here. We have actually some pretty cool stuff coming up ourselves right now.
Yeah.
So we are actually in the middle of a food drive for the Chesterfield Food Bank. So we are collecting food right now. If anybody out there has some food in their pantry that's not expired, canned food that
no
you'd
glass.
like to, that's right, that you'd like to drop off or we'd be willing to pick up, just, again, let us know. You can call the office or email us
at info@burgessinspects.com.
That's right. What else we got going on?
So actually, later today, the office staff and I believe some of our inspectors are going to volunteer our time at the Chesterfield Food Bank doing some food. We're giving out food?
Yeah, we're going to be distributing food with the Chesterfield Food Bank and just help them out. It's one of our biggest values as a company is to be able to give back to the community. And so we've been working on trying to figure out ways that we could do that.
Yeah. And so this is one of our new efforts. We also are thanking our guests who come on by donating to some of their favorite charities.
That's right. Donating, putting some hands in, whatever it is.
Whatever we can do to help the community.
That's right. So without further ado, let's take it to Jenny and Scooter.
First, I want to start off with Jenny, thank you so much for coming. I feel like I've known you forever, Lady Maraghy. And so I just really appreciate you coming up here and sharing some of your wisdom with us.
Wow. I don't know how much wisdom there will be, but I really appreciate you having me.
Well, thank you.
Anytime I can see you, Scooter, it's a great day.
Oh my gosh.
Great
But
day.
I've known Jenny for a long time now. Back when you were with another company
I was?
and you were a listing agent on a house down in Oregon Hill. Your daughter cut her leg.
She did.
Yeah.
She we were right in the middle of your normal amazing work, and
Would you care to elaborate?
you were doing a fantastic job, and I got a little bit distracted because I got a very disturbing call. My daughter she was at CrossFit and she was doing a box jump and really injured her leg.
Yeah.
And so basically I just remember having to throw you the keys and say, I gotta go. I'm off to the emergency room.
Well, what I remember that, and I also remember I'm upstairs in the bedroom, up at the windows, the cat was in there. I don't know if you remember this, but the cat jumped out on the front porch roof. And so I'm trying to get the cat back in, which is sort of, anybody's ever tried to catch a cat that does not want to be caught? But we finally got it back in. Do you remember that?
On the roof.
Cat
on the
on-
roof.
Was
Well,
it a cat on a hot tin roof or something like that?
we were all a little bit on the hot tin roof that day.
Yes.
As I recall.
Yeah.
I had looked at your resume and I had seen on there cat wrangler, so I knew that on those occasions when somebody gets out, you had it under control. Under control. Just a normal day for you.
Well, where are you from, Jenny?
I am from Martin County in eastern North Carolina.
Okay.
Little town called Williamston. It's
Okay.
about probably 30 minutes from Greenville,
Okay.
East Carolina University, that area.
So you didn't want to go that close to home, going to East Carolina.
I was going to be a Tar Heel from
Where it goes.
day one.
Okay.
That's where I wanted to go.
I think I told you one time I was nearly a Tar Heel.
Oh,
Came
you know
ver-
what? Then
very
you would have been
close.
perfect.
Very close to
Scooter,
getting it.
you're almost perfect. That could have just put you
Put me
right
over the top.
edge.
I could be working with you
I
or
know.
for you.
I would love to partner with you any day.
Anyway, and you went to your college was
Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill.
Went to UNC,
Mm.
Chapel Hill, just a few years ago.
A few years ago. Were you there with any like Lawrence Taylor or Michael Jordan or any of those guys?
So I'm going to date myself right now.
Is that an unfair question to ask you?
That
because
is
of
totally
that?
fair. Totally fair question. Michael was there, and we actually lived in the same dorm
Oh, really?
for a couple of years. The basketball players all lived in Granville South, and I was in Granville East, which was all women.
Right.
They were in the co-ed dorm, so we basically ate meals with many times with the whole team.
Yeah.
And that was, of course, the big year '82.
Well, yes. Cool.
Been a while.
Well, tell us a little bit about your family. I know your husband Dave, a delightful guy, a lot of fun.
Dave Maraghy. A lot of folks know him from the golf world.
Mhm.
Ran a lot of golf tournaments and did player sponsorship. He was an attorney, did sponsorship deals, and ran tournaments. The Henrico County Open. Also ran some events overseas. Korea, I think, was
Really?
the most far flung. Got to ride with one of the generals over to the DMZ in one of the helicopters. Very cool.
Really? I
With,
guess that would be cool.
Very cool. Eye-opening.
Yeah.
Eye-opening. So Dave and I have been married for, I think, 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we have one daughter, Kate, who's up in New York. I was just talking to her. She's got some exciting stuff going. She lives in the city. And Jack, who lives in London, who's 28.
What is one of your favorite restaurants? I won't say the favorite restaurant because I don't hear you say that.
I like to eat.
Yeah.
Actually, I can tell I like to eat here recently. I loved, last time we went to Portico.
Right.
That was enjoyable. I love sitting outside there in the
I do
garden.
too. I want to go back there
I
at
think-
some point in time
we
because
should.
I hadn't been in 2 years. I'm wondering, last time we went might have been with you and Dave. That's been a couple
We
of
need to
years ago.
Put that back on the calendar.
Well, I know you don't get a whole lot of time off. Is there anything you enjoy doing on the time off that you have?
Oh, travel for sure.
Travel.
Travel.
Okay.
Dave Maraghy actually is probably, he can plan some amazing travel. I have a very difficult time planning travel,
I do
but
too.
he is stellar. If he hadn't done what he did with pro golfers,
Right.
he should have planned people's travel.
I know you do a lot with investors,
I do.
investment equipment, investment properties.
Yes.
Is it still a good time to be doing investments?
You know, if you look and find the right deals, they're still out there. I was actually just speaking with one of my investors this morning. We have a different investor who is repositioning some of his portfolio and holdings, and we're trying to put together a 5 to 10 unit portfolio
Right.
for one person to buy. And the numbers really are not are not bad. These are probably $185,000 properties,
Right.
which would rent for anywhere from $1,450 to $1,650 a month.
Right.
And those numbers aren't bad.
So all these apartments that they're building, is that having a big effect on that?
It feels, one of the investors I was working with, we were chatting yesterday, and I asked how many applications he had. I was trying to determine how easily something was rented, and day one they had 35
Oh, really?
35 applications, and that was for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath.
Wow. Well,
With an ask price of, I think, around $1,650.
right. Are you still seeing a lot of cash investors with interest rates so high? People coming in with cash with it, or?
It's harder to make the numbers work for sure a lot of the banks don't have a big appetite right now for investment loans. So you might be looking at 9.5 on investment money with 25% down. So it definitely, you really have to sharpen your pencil right now to find something that makes the numbers work well
Right.
on the single family.
Well, I know we've had a little bit of this conversation, but if somebody was getting into rentals, what path would you take? How would you go about doing that? Just somebody brand new.
Brand new, I would say find a really good real estate agent who is familiar with
Right.
working with rental properties, investment properties, someone who's pretty connected in that field and with the investors in town, because many times there's a tremendous amount of activity that happens off market in the investment world. And spend a lot of time in the neighborhoods that you're particularly looking for, so you really know what you're buying, and talk to your CPA.
Right. I mean, is it value of going, I know they got a lot of investment groups around town. Is it good, a value to go to those investment groups and?
Oh, like the
Talk.
networking groups?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. There's lots of information that gets shared, which you might not find elsewhere.
Right.
As far as availability. There's also, I usually try to have an investor seminar quarterly, and we had Lewis Rogers with us, who spoke last week or the week before. He's the CEO and founder of Capital Square, and they do lots of 1031 exchanges. They'll also have REITs or many different funds in various asset classes. So even if you don't want to buy brick and mortar house yourself and maintain it and manage it, that's a pretty good option.
Right. Okay. Cool. So you do put on these seminars?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We try to do it at least quarterly.
Right.
We had Steve Pasich, who's a CPA who has a really deep knowledge. He spoke for us about 6 months ago,
Right.
along with a gentleman who manages short-term rentals, STRs, all over the state, as well as a couple of other states.
Right.
So we try to do it at least quarterly.
Right. Well, I mean, it makes sense to me because I guess not all realtors, and there's some great realtors in the city of Richmond,
Oh, absolutely.
but not all of them deal in that realm.
Right.
So if you want to do something, you definitely want to be with an agent like you, or at least an agent that deals with it, knows all about, what you have to do and all. Like you said, the term 1031 exchange. You should tell everybody what a 1031 exchange is.
So a 1031 exchange, we'll take for instance, I bought my first rental property probably 30 years ago.
Wow.
And I was 10, yes.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
You beat me to it.
Hey, see, come on,
I'm
Scooter.
a little slow.
So that was about 30 years ago, and over time, so your typical piece of a single family home, you're going to depreciate over 27 and a half years. So maybe I should sell this one piece of property and reposition those funds either in a different neighborhood or maybe something that's a little bit larger so I can get some more depreciation expense. So a 1031 exchange allows you to sell property number one and replace it with a different property without paying taxes. There's a couple of rules that you need to know there's really three main things you would need to know when you're considering a 1031 exchange. One is that you need to identify your next property within 45 days, and you're going to need to close on that replacement property within 180 days.
Okay.
And you can't hold on to your cash from the sale of the first property. It goes to a qualified intermediary, which means somebody just holds it in account for you until you're ready to purchase that next property.
Well, I can tell you know what you're talking about.
I was a
I'm very
CPA
impressed,
before.
Jenny.
No,
I'm very
well,
impressed.
I was an accountant before.
Oh, I did
For
not
real
know
estate.
that.
I worked in Richmond. I worked for Ernst and Young.
Well, they're still around?
They are, yeah.
Okay.
EY. They're more known as EY right now.
Okay.
And then I was with a BDO, Seidman and Greensboro. So
Okay.
I spent about 5 years in the accounting world.
It takes a special person to do that.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yes,
crazy.
no,
I didn't
not
want to
crazy.
say that.
No, I didn't either. I love all the CPAs out there. I love you all. I enjoy sales more.
Yeah,
I'll
I
put
do
it that
too.
way.
Well, there's 1031s, you can use that for commercial properties also, can't you?
It's really any real estate. Any real estate, and it doesn't, even though it's called a like kind exchange, or it used to be called a starker exchange, it doesn't have to be a like kind.
Right.
I could sell that building beside you, which is a commercial building, and I could buy single family, I could buy land, I could buy an industrial building, it does not, or I could buy a REIT that's still a real estate product.
Right.
It doesn't actually even have to be the brick and mortar.
Yeah. We really enjoy doing commercial. We've done a lot of big commercials and small ones also.
So will you do hotels or industrial or office buildings?
Well, an example of what we've done, I mean, we did a 14-story, we're going on a year now, a hotel on Atlantic Boulevard in Virginia Beach.
Oh,
And that was the day after the 4th of July, so you can imagine what we saw in the hotel rooms.
I can imagine.
Yeah, exactly. And so we've done several hotels and just
Interesting.
industrial buildings, the flex buildings like this with your office up front, warehouse in the back. So we really enjoy it.
How long did that inspection of a big hotel take you?
Well, I was in on that one. I got called in on that one, but it took us 1 day, 2 people on that. But we didn't, typically when we do those, we don't do every room.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a spot.
The spots, they want to do the corners, they want to do the top floor,
Structure.
and stuff of this nature. The parking garage, and of course you walk up top, you got all this huge HVAC equipment. You don't have a little heat pump outside. You got a little bit of equipment out there, but
Just a little.
just a little bit. But we're fortunate we got a guy on staff that's a commercial HVAC expert that helps us a whole lot on that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we always love working with you guys. No, whatever the property, whether it's a condo or single family, everyone on your team is always, if the homeowner does happen to be around or come home before it's over, everybody's just always been so fabulous to our clients, and they'll do a great job.
Thank you. We try. So, but let me ask you this: do you have a favorite charity?
We have supported several things over the last 5 years, all which have been important. We've done Feed More, where we would provide X number of meals for each home we closed.
Right.
We did that for a couple of years. We also have worked with Make-A-Wish, where our goal was to provide one wish, which ranges around typically the normal not normal, but the average wish is usually, they budget around $10,000
Right.
per wish. So those are two of our most recent endeavors, which
Well,
we've enjoyed. And track laps.
I was getting ready to
course.
say, I've forgotten all about that, Jenny.
We need to get back out there.
Oh, yeah. Did y'all do it again?
We have not done it. Our good friend Dennis Spickmeyer, who is an amazing friend, when he was the head of Raceway,
Right.
good friend, he helped us or open the door to us be able to bring our clients and just the general public out to take your car out on the track, which is just scary to think about in general, and drive your own car on the track for donations.
Right.
So that actually, the first time we ever did that was to help us fund the $10,000 Make-A-Wish.
Right. Well, by the amount of people I did, because I had a blast doing that. Janice doesn't have such a fond memory.
Was she in the car with you?
Yes, and we were in a car. We had a Highlander, and I love speed.
No,
But that
I'm
was-
surprised, aren't you?
But that was not the car for speed. But I had it on the floor. Janice was in the car, and one of my inspectors, Mike Zolke, was in the car.
Uh-huh.
And I was trying to go as fast as I could. We got to the curves. I had to stand on the brakes, no doubt. And we got out of the car. Janice said, "What's that smell?" And I don't think it smells brake. And so she ended up getting rid of the car afterwards. But it was so funny because they had people like that with like the National Lampoon Christmas Vacation movies. The guy had an old station wagon with a Christmas tree
We had it
strapped
all.
on the top. It had the guys with the
Tow
Porsches
truck?
or the tow truck.
Did you see the guys who it escapes me right for a second, but they brought one of their large tow trucks. We had a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
The Porsches, yes, we had our Porsche group. At one point, I also had wondered if our event at Ross Road, what was that, 5 years ago or so, where we had the antique cars. I thought
Right.
it might be kind of interesting to, slow it down a little bit one time and get the
go back
antique
to
cars
speed.
out there.
Go back to speed.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, we appreciate you coming in here so much, Jenny, and we'd like to make a small donation to your
Oh,
charity
thank you so
Yours.
much.
for doing that.
I appreciate that.
And if you got anything else that you'd like to say, as far as investments or anything. Oh, I know a question I'd like to ask you.
Yes.
What are you hearing about the future as far as when are we going to get back to quote normal real estate? Or is that going to happen anytime soon?
That's
I'm
a
talking
really
about
good question.
You
good.
could just take out your crystal ball and
Oh.
read it for us. That would be
Well,
fabulous.
I got one around here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Do you see any things that are going on that might give us a little bit of? I mean, are we in this for another year, or do you think it's going to start to slowly? I like slowly turn around. I don't like big jumps
Right.
with stuff.
It feels like that we are probably in for exactly where we are for another 12 months
Right.
to me.
Right.
Especially with the political unrest and, it feels like that we get a little bit of a handle on inflation for a short period of time, but we're certainly not there. So unless we have a major economic event, looks like our interest rates are going to be pretty close to where they are right now, which makes it difficult for a lot of first-time home buyers. Also tamps down a little bit of the investment, our investment market.
Right.
We've seen strength in the, I'd say 500 to unlimited, until
Right.
our top end has been pretty strong. We've still got a pretty massive housing shortage
Yes.
on the purchase end, that's for sure. We're trying to alleviate a little bit of that by opening up some of the rental property that we control,
Mhm.
so that some of our sellers who would like to put their home on the market who don't know where they're going to go
Right.
can rent and stay in some of our rentals
Smart.
for an unlimited amount of time. And if they want to leave in 2 weeks, that's fine. If they want to leave in 6 months, that's fine. But at least they know, okay, whenever my house does sell, I do have somewhere to go.
Right. That's very cool that y'all do that. I hate to throw that in there. Very cool. Yeah. Well, I know Janice made a comment before you got here. She saw a statistic that I think she said 60% of the mortgages right now are below 6%.
Oh, it's
That's around here.
staggering.
But the thing about it, Jenny, the interest rates we got right now, they're not terrible. I mean, they're terrible when you think about those artificially inflated
Right.
3% rates that we
Right.
had for a period of time. But
And we're not going back there.
no, we shouldn't go back there. I
Right.
don't think.
Right.
But
When the most eye-opening was, for me at least, was, I guess that was 3 years ago, where you could get investment money for, I mean, if you really shopped, under 3%. I mean,
Wow.
that's just unheard of. In my 30 plus, I guess, years now, I've never seen anything
right.
like that. So we're just not going to go. We need to realize, I think.
Yeah. Like I said 6% is not bad.
No. No.
What everybody thinks is bad. I mean, I
can-
remember Janice and I were trying to sell a house in 1978, our first house.
Hmm.
787, 18, 19, 20%
Right,
interest rates
right.
back there.
Because
I
the
mean, like,
T-bills were paying you probably 15 to
Right.
16.5% at that
Yeah.
point in time.
I didn't have any of those at that time, but I guess they probably were.
I can remember during that period of time, my dad actually would drive up to Richmond to the Federal Reserve, because at that point in time you had to buy them
From there.
directly. And yes, there was, saving was really important. I mean, he was super smart financially that way, and it was a smart move. Save all you can at 17%. Right?
Well, they came from that era where you were coming off through Depression,
Oh,
I guess, and everything. Everything was save, save, save. You know.
he wasn't quite that old, but the mentality and his parents' mentality of that was
Yeah.
absolutely for
Yeah,
sure.
My parents definitely had that mentality, and their parents. Well, any more words of wisdom that
No.
you got?
Just that we love you we love working with your
Right,
crew,
I get you, girl.
and we're gonna try to give you more home inspections to do.
Well,
We're gonna
y'all-
keep you busy and out of trouble through
y'all
the
got
Christmas
an awesome
holidays.
team, so. But Jenny, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank
You're a
you, Scooter.
sweetheart. And all.
And thank you for the appreciate that contribution.
Well,
That's super
I
kind.
said, and we were trying to figure out, we're cutting this now.
We are now.
No, but I really do appreciate you coming on.
Oh.
But I know you're a busy person.
Appreciate you having me.
I think you're pretty aggressive with what you do, your marketing.
I love looking at your weekly roundups, and there's some where I'm like, oh my gosh, they had a great week, and then there's something like, ah, that's the week we had, you know.
We didn't even get the fish.
That's okay.
I do appreciate the fish. We like
Is the fish
I was
bad?
telling Scooter, you guys used to fish better than we do.
I know.
We need to get better at it.
We throw it sometimes. It's just not every.
We give people the fish to people sometimes.
Yeah, we're spreading it around to some other offices right now as well.
that's
you
good.
know.
That's really cool.
Giving the philosophy.
We had a seminar Thursday. I gotta tell this one. We had a seminar Thursday at Virginia. Did you know there's a Virginia Association of Home Inspectors?
Real estate.
Yeah.
Real estate inspectors.
You gotta say the correct name. It's very.
Very. And so we had our annual big get together last Thursday at Glen Allen
Cultural Arts Center.
Cultural
Oh,
Arts
yeah.
Center. And we, inspectors from all over the state came there, so we got it all set up and stuff, and they were sitting there getting ready to, somebody was introducing the speakers, and I went to get a cup of coffee, and I put a little thing, we had like 3 or 4
Three
Keurigs.
Keurigs.
We're having, I put my little thing in there, and I stopped, hit it, and all of a sudden,
And he zoned off. He's paying attention to whoever's talking, and I have to go whisper yell Scooter and run at him to throw a cup under there, because he was just letting it go. It was just pouring down. And I was like, Scooter.
not to sharp his knife in the drawer.
You know what? I've never done that, I'm sure. Trust me. My husband's like, focus, just focus. I can focus a lot better at work. Once I get home, it's kind of like, I need a little downtime.
I don't do anything when I get home. Well, that's not true.
But you're learning the guitar.
That's
Kind
not-
of.
Well, I'm trying to learn the guitar.
You have some things going on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So,
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that wonderful interview with Lady Jenny Maraghy of the Jenny Maraghy team.
I absolutely enjoyed it. I think she's a wonderful person. Let's start there. But it's just fun hearing some of the stories and stuff. I wish I had been at the racing that they did
Oh,
to
yeah.
raise for the raise to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So
Right.
that'd have been cool. Get my truck out there and probably burn it up or something, but maybe flip it. I don't know.
Well, and as you can tell, Jenny and Scooter are definitely friends. And they enjoy talking to one another and sharing their stories. I still can't believe that Scooter finally told me the Chasing the Cat story on the podcast. He had been hinting at it for months. I've worked here, and he told me as soon as I started here that he had a Chasing the Cat story, and never told me until this podcast.
I guess he was saving it for a big time.
Ah, apparently.
Scooter's a big moment kind of guy. That's how it is.
Yes, he is. Yeah, no, Jenny, her entire team is wonderful, and she definitely aligns with Burgess's mission and vision and with all of her charity and giving back, and it's really important to her. And so we felt that it was a great way to kick off the Between the Cracks podcast
That's right.
by having one of the most charitable people we know. Come on.
That's right. So thank you very much, Jenny, for coming on, and hopefully we can get you on again some point.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody out there has a topic that they would like to hear on our podcast, or if you'd like to come on and join us, I'd love to have some fun with some people.
Yeah.
Again, reach out to us at info@burgessinspects.com.
Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Between the Cracks podcast.